Tensions are running high as officials in Chicago and Portland continue to fight back against the Trump administration's militarization of their cities. But despite the administration's claim of addressing what it describes as war zones, the reality on the ground is that people just want answers. Like Chicago alderperson Jessie Fuentes. Here's what happened when she went to a medical center on Friday after she heard that there were immigration agents there. Take a look.
Do you have a sign?
No, you need to leave. Turn around. You're turn around and leave.
He is under.
I'm going to arrest you if you do not leave.
You were going to be placed under arrest.
Do you have a sign? You need to warrant for him.
Joining us now is Chicago alderperson Jessie Fuentes, who you just saw in that video, and also with us, Janet Napolitano, former Secretary of Homeland Security during the Obama administration. She's also a professor of public policy at UC Berkeley. Jessie, let's start out with your exchange with ICE. Can you talk us through it? I watched the whole video, and really the entire time you kept your cool. You were just saying, asking if they had a warrant.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. First, I want to talk to you about what we're seeing in Chicago. There are seniors, children being dragged out of their homes in the middle of the night, being zip-tied, some people taken out naked, U.S. citizens being detained, heads smashed against walls, people being ran over by vehicles. Yesterday, a woman shot by an ICE agent. I think me walking into a hospital in my ward, seeking to advocate and ask questions on behalf of my constituent is not a crime. Asking for a signed judicial warrant when ICE is present in a hospital in which people in the emergency room and staff in the hospital are fearful because there are agents in the hospital is not a criminal act. And I was met with aggression. I was met with violence. What you don't see in that video is that I'm actually shoved twice and pushed against the wall before being handcuffed for asking that very question.
Janet, I want to get your reaction, your reflection on what we just heard Jessie share there, but I also want to know what you make of what comes next in the legal fight here. The Trump administration has filed this emergency for an emergency stay of the federal judge's decision about the deployment of the Oregon National Guard. Where do you see all of this heading?
Well, obviously, it's problematic on any number of reasons. First, the mass deportation initiative that the administration has undertaken, it's not focusing on the worst of the worst, those with other criminal violations in addition to being in the country illegally. It's way broader than that. And of course, it's focusing on cities that don't align with the president's positions, and also cities that have high immigrant populations, immigrants who are here legally, people who are citizens, and then, of course, those who are undocumented. There's a way to do this that's intelligent and in accord with law, but this is just so broad and such a big foot on the problem that it's actually exacerbating tensions. And now we see the second step, and that is, well, we'll just send in the National Guard. I think there are important legal issues about whether the president has the power to federalize the Guard in these circumstances over the objection of local authorities and governors. National Guards traditionally, and I'm a former governor, I'm a former border state governor. I actually sent the National Guard to the Arizona border back in the early 2000s, but I did it. The president didn't come in and take command of my National Guard. And what we're seeing that I think from a legal point of view is, does it comply with the statute and does it comply with the U.S. Constitution? The courts are going to have to work that out. I tend to think that the judge in Portland got it right. In issuing, and it's a Trump-appointed judge, enjoined the administration from sending in the Oregon National Guard. So what do? Now we go to step 3. Well, we can't send in the Oregon Guard. We're going to send in the California National Guard to Oregon. I mean, really, knowing that California is totally opposed to using its National Guard for these reasons. And I want to close with saying, look, even if ultimately the Supreme Court says it's okay for the president to do this, which I hope it doesn't because it normalizes the military on domestic soil, there's another question is, should this be being done? Is this smart? Is this the most effective thing to do? Is this the best use of our National Guard members? And I would say it absolutely is not.
Jesse, I wanted to get your thoughts on the dehumanization and the portrayal of Chicago as a war-torn city, because it seems like the administration is using this language, not just in Chicago, but in Portland as well, but it has been intensified in Chicago. Let me play for you just some of the sound bites of how they're describing your city. Take a listen.
This is a war zone.
Everyone on your staff could walk from their cars to the studio this morning. Why? Because there are National Guard troops patrolling the streets. Before this, it was a literal war zone.
That's a war, too. It's a war from within. I told Pete we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military, because we're going into Chicago very soon.
Very dangerous rhetoric coming out of there from the president about using Chicago as a testing ground for the military. But you live in Chicago. You speak to your constituents. I want you to describe for us what it is, what it's like in Chicago this evening.
Absolutely. Look, we are a city with 77 neighborhoods, all unique in of itself, with different cultural experiences. We have had the lowest homicide rate in the city of Chicago than we have had in the last 5 decades, because we have a governor, we have a mayor, we have a legislative body that has put safety first. We have invested in violence prevention. We have ensured that we have the best police force following the consent decree, ensuring the safety of our residents. We are making the investments needed because we know how to create a safe city. We are a large city in the Midwest, and we will continue to be the best city. What Trump and the Republican Party is doing is creating a rhetoric to sow division in our city. We are seeing it with the type of chaos that ICE is ensuing in our community. If you've seen the clips from the raid in the South Shore building, the type of violence, landing helicopters on buildings like we are a war zone with no justification. It is unlawful. It is unconstitutional. What we are seeing is a president declaring war on his own country.
Secretary Napolitano, I actually wanted to ask you specifically about the Chicago raid that Jesse was just describing, where there were Black Hawk helicopters, there were agents rappelling down an apartment building. You know, at the end of the day, I think they made something like 30 arrests and maybe only two arrests at the end of the day. What do you make of the overwhelming force that was used that brought children out, reportedly undressed, put zip ties on them, put zip ties on the elderly, making them be outside at 1, 2, 3 in the morning? What do you make of using those kind of assets for that raid in Chicago?
Well, it was interesting listening to the clips you played of the folks from the administration. It's like they all got the same talking point. We're going to call it a war zone, a war zone, a war zone. And then they're going to make it a war zone. It wasn't a war zone before. They didn't have to have helicopters and people rappelling down and so forth. And again, I want to back up and say, look, there is a smart way to do effective law enforcement. Just throwing helicopters and military assets at it and so forth is neither lawful nor wise.
Jesse, what do you think the long-term impact is going to be on the South Shore neighbors, community members who witnessed, experienced all of this? What steps can they take? What action are they considering? And how long do you think this is going to stay with them?
Absolutely. Look, what we've seen in South Shore and what we're seeing across communities in the city of Chicago, what we just seen in Brighton Park just yesterday and the day before, is going to cause an erosion of trust between constituents and law enforcement. Trust that we have spent years trying to rebuild in the city of Chicago. It is going to cause an immense amount of trauma. But in the city of Chicago, we have organizations, we have constituents, we have rapid responders that are doing the work every single day to ensure the constituents know their rights, that we are educating constituents on how to defend themselves in an instance in which people are violating their constitutional rights and utilizing physical force and violence against them. But we also need to ensure that we continue to fight this in the courts. we need to take lead the way Portland has done. And we look forward to having judges rule against the type of war that Trump is trying to cause in a city like Chicago. We need to not only have lawyers on our side, we need to ensure that legislators are doing right and utilizing every single legislative tool to protect the residents of cities like Chicago, Portland, and places in California. We need to ensure that we are focused on keeping ourselves safe. Trump and the Republican Party speak every day that they are doing this for safety and security. This is not safety and security. You don't land helicopters on people's homes while they're sleeping and call that safety. Right. They are causing chaos and violence in the city of Chicago.
All right, Alderman Jesse Fuentes, Secretary Janet Napolitano, thank you to the both of you. Greatly appreciate it, as always.